Hello everyone and welcome back to another edition of Dime Box Discoveries, and boy do we have a fun one for you. I know you've been waiting for a video this fun and this exciting for a while here, and we have got it for you. I hit up the Moeller Spring Card Show at Moeller High School in Cincinnati, Ohio. Of course, Moeller High School known for producing Major League Baseball players like King Griffey Jr., Buddy Bell, Barry Larkin, and many more. A handful of NFL players and a couple of current NBA players, as well as also a former Speaker of the House and some other people. But anyway, great show. We're going to jump into it here. I bought a whole lot of A's teams need, so that was good there. But to show you what we got, this row is all pennies. This row is all nickels. This row is all dimes. And then we get into some quarters and whatnot and things like that. By the way, whenever I think of the pennies, nickels, quarters, dimes, there was an episode of DuckTales when the siren song to lure Scrooge McDuck away went, pennies, nickels, quarters, dimes, comes to us while there's still time. So that's what I think of whenever I do these. Anyway, old DuckTales episodes aside, let's jump into and show you what we got. Starting here with the pennies, and boy, some pretty good stuff. This might be one of my most favorite finds of the day. You can see it's got a big old chunk taken out, but do you know what this is? Do you know what this is? This is super cool. This is from the 1969 Milton Bradley game, a dice roll baseball game. So really kind of cool. 1969 Milton Bradley game. Big chunk taken out for penny. I freaking love it. All right. How about some 1970 tops? Kind of beaten up, but really cool. Here's a Jerry Roos rookie card. Here's a World Series card. Diego Segui. Some of these actually aren't that bad. Ken Berry's pretty bad. You can see the creases all over it. And Joe Hagan with a mark there. And Richie Scheinblum. But really kind of cool for a penny piece. Some old 1970s. I'm never going to pass up 1970s for a penny a piece. All right, a whole bunch of Fleer. And we got a bunch of managers here. Some of the bigger known ones. Sparky, of course, there. Tony La Russa, Tommy Lasorda. So there's Bobby Cox, Maury Wills. Now we get into some fun ones. Here we go. All right, for my guy BK with his low maturity level warning, there's Pete Lecoq, who, by the way, I've mentioned this before. If you don't know, Pete Lecoq's dad was the host of Hollywood Squares. So there you go. Vida Blue, Jack Clark, Tim McCarver, some Pinella, Bobby Bonds, Hal McRae. I just want to show you this one because I just dig the hat. I wish the Pirates would go back to the pillbox hat. That's just so freaking cool right there. All right. Jeff Reardon, I believe that's a rookie card for Jeff Reardon, or second year. I don't know. Something like that. Bill the Spaceman Lee, very cool. Ellis Valentine, Ron Say, the Penguin, because he ran kind of funny. Seriously, I think that's how he got his nickname, because of the way he ran. Something about his shins were shorter than normal or something. I don't know. But penguins are my most favorite animal, so I dig them. This Doyle Alexander card, I just love this background. I love there's a lot going on. I love the 76, the Spirit of 76 mobile back here. I love the crowd there, so really kind of cool. And a very early Dale Murphy card. That's really neat. Okay, now we go into some other stuff. 85 tops, Cal Ripken. Oscar Gamble, this thing is beaten to heck and back, but this is a beautiful classic card. Get in there. Look at this thing. You know you love this card. The 74 tops traded Oscar Gamble, or 75, 76, I think 76 tops traded Oscar Gamble. Terrible shape, but man, that is a fan favorite. Beaten up here, but still kind of cool. And then we get into some of the local Cincinnati guys. You got to pick up the local cards when you're at the local card show, the Cincinnati guys. All these guys played high school baseball in this city, in Cincinnati or Hamilton, around. Kent Tecove was in Hamilton. Dave Parker, of course, in Cincinnati. Buddy Bell went to Moeller High School. Don Zimmer from Western Hills. Tony Scott from Woodbridge High School. Jim Tracy from Baden High School in Hamilton. Barry Bono from Marymount, Madeira, something like that. And a couple Leon Durhams, another Tony Scott. Len Matuzak from Moeller High School, where the show was. He went there. Also the University of Toledo, so Matt Guy. And then Johnny LeMaster out of Eastern Kentucky, where I worked for several years out of Paintsville, Kentucky. By the way, I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again. When Dave Parker was done playing Major League Baseball, he went and played in men's leagues in Cincinnati because he couldn't give up the game. He just loved it so much. And my brother, who was a pretty good pitcher, faced him once in a men's league. Parker was in like his mid-40s or whatever, upper 40s. My brother was like early 20s. That can pump a little bit of gas. Parker hit a ball off, and I think it's still traveling now 30 years later. So there you go. Duke it hit. How about some numbered cards, Topps Gold, of a former MVP and a Jose Guillen card in the penny box. There they are numbered out of 2007. Yeah, that's awesome to find a penny box, some Topps Gold number card. Here we go. Some, what are these? These are the special edition versions of Larry Walker, Paul Molitor, and Deion Sanders. All right, some of the, what are these? These are the dugout kind of gold cards. Nobody too special. David Cohen's pretty cool. But these are always good parallels, always make for good trade bait. So JT Snow's in there. He's a very good fielding first baseman. All right. How about some Frank Thomases? You know, I can't pass up many Frank Thomases for a penny, especially ones that are art cards. They're really kind of cool. That's a really cool Fleer Pro set. And then some Tom Glavine cards. I love this card. Tom Glavine, if I believe I'm correct in this, was drafted in the 4th round of the NHL draft by the LA Kings, but ended up playing baseball. So this card is true to nature for him. Really cool. I think Tom Glavine made the right career choice. This card, you're like, dude, why'd you get a card of a dude's leg? Okay, seriously? And here's a 1975 Topps card for a penny. Just thought it was neat. Because this isn't just any old leg, ladies and gentlemen. This is Ichiro. So this is part of the Topps opening day. So this is technically an Ichiro card for a penny. Someone will want that in the trade. A little bit of football in the penny. I can't pass up Rod Woodson. And then Ricky Waters at some point, I think he's got a shot to make the Hall of Fame. Look up his numbers. He's got like 5 All-Pro or 5 Pro Bowl appearances. Was phenomenal in the playoffs. Really great career playoff numbers. So I think he's got a shot. Josh Booty, his name is just fun to say. That's all. Rick Meyer with the, Dan McGuire with the awesome visors. I freaking love that. That was awesome. Brother of Mark McGuire. All right, and then just a bunch of, that's a silver signature. There's a bunch of, for some reason there are a bunch of Seahawks in there, so I bought up a bunch of the Seahawks just because. Fly through them, show you some more variations, parallels, kind of things. We'll see if we get some trades, and there's Warren Moon, the Hall of Famer. So, very cool. All right, moving right along to Nichols. Nichols here. This one, 72 Topps, off cut as you can see, but it's a 72 Topps card, actually in decent shape besides the off cut for a nickel. So I'm going to pick it up. Jose Tartable, 1967 Topps. Yeah, not the worst I've ever seen for a nickel, so there you go. Kenny Rogers rookie card. I love the 86 Donners, they look cool. Eric Davis, Darryl Strawberry. Of course, they knew each other growing up in LA together, so really kind of cool to get those two together. Bo Jackson, you can't turn down. This card. I've never seen Topps HD before, ever, in all my years of looking through the millions of cards I look through in boxes. Never seen a Topps HD. And you know what? It really doesn't come through on the video, but this card is just an absolute banger of a picture quality. Like, this is literally like something you would, I can't even explain. It's almost like glass. Really kind of cool. This one made me laugh. Here's 3 guys who took some steroids. So there you go. I know Brett Boone, I guess technically never tested positive, but we all know. It just happened. All right, here's a bunch of Cincinnati guys again. Tabler, Matuzak, here we go. I'll just fly through these. John LeMaster, Eastern Kentucky, like I said. Now, these are not Cincinnati guys. You're like, Jeff, why'd you pick up some 1987 Topps? Who cares? Because all of these 1987 Topps cards happen to be, and one's even a Len Matuzak from Cincinnati. They're all blank fronts. I've never seen blank fronts. I've seen blank backs, never seen blank fronts. So these are all blank fronts. Very cool. They do exist. These are real. I wasn't even paying attention. That's Len Matuzak from Cincinnati, Ohio, from Moeller. So there you go. And then this one, this Jeff Reardon, it's not a blank back. It's a horrifically worst cut, wrong back I've ever seen in my life. Got a little Dave Elin action going on there. You got the 5 years ago card going on there. So 4 cards and one in the back. It's like the 4 corners where it meets out in the western states. What is it? Arizona, Colorado, New Mexico. I don't remember the 4th one. Someone will tell me in the comments. There you go. Well, from blank fronts to, how about some football with some blank backs? We got some blank back football cards. Really kind of cool. So those are just kind of neat. All right. Willie Gault, rookie card for a nickel. Always cool. There are a bunch of these Bears. They're in decent shape, especially for being 1979. So they'll make some good trade bait. Some trade bear bait. Put them in the bear trap. Frank LeMaster from Lexington, Kentucky. Now we go into some MAC guys. Mid-American Conference. Alvin Hall, Sherman Smith, whole bunch of Sherman Smith, Rob Carpenter. Those guys are all Miami University Redhawks. So go Miami and Oxford, Ohio. Best college in the MAC. I'm a little biased. All right, Philip Filipino from Bowling Green, Ron Johnson from Eastern Michigan, and Antonio Gates, obviously from Kent State. He played basketball, did not play college football. He just played college basketball, but he was a stud on the basketball court. Our guy BK with Mac Wax Stacks actually guarded him in some games, I believe. BK, if you want to chime in on how that went, you're guarding him. All right. Love, love, love any of those playoff cards. This is a beautiful one right here. I love the photography on it. It looks great. More great cards. Bengals over the Chargers. And this, ladies and gentlemen, do you know what this is? This, I believe, is the Freezer Bowl, correct? This is the Freezer Bowl, the coldest game, I believe, ever played in the history of NFL football. So the feels like temperature is like negative 40 something or other. Seriously, like it was crazy. There were stories of people like spilling a pop and then it being frozen within like 10 minutes, if not less. Rick Carlos went to the University of Cincinnati. So that'll go to my UC guys. More Frank Lemaster. All right, just some cool. Hans Stenerud, Hall of Famer. Really kind of cool. So Jeff West also went to UC. Chuck Muncie. First of all, check out the rec specs, man. That's so cool. Chuck Muncie was just a baller. So I had to pick up his cards. All right. Jim Breach, that's a rookie card, I believe. So just some more guys. I always love those green jerseys from Notre Dame. They just look really cool. Terrence Mathis is a parallel there. Gary Fensick, my guy Gary Fensick, back up from Yale. Our conversation continues if it's Calvin Hill or Gary Fensick, the greatest player ever to graduate from Yale. Then Red Grange, Mike Singletary, and Tony Fritsch. There's a spoiler alert. I have a video I'm working on. Tony Fritsch is one of 7 guys born in Austria, Vienna, Austria, technically for him, who play in the NFL. And you're going to watch one of my videos coming up. I'm going to put out shortly on why I picked up a card for a guy born in Vienna, Austria, and why that's significant, and why I possibly set a baseball card trading record. That will be coming up in the future in a video, hopefully in the next few weeks. But Tony Fritsch, born in Vienna, Austria. So very cool. How about a little bit of hockey? These are all OPGs. This is a Pat LaFontaine rookie card, technically. So, or rookie year card anyway. Really kind of cool. Michael Goulet of the Nordiques. Mark Howe, of course, he's son of Gordie Howe. This one actually goes for a couple bucks. This is, you can't really see it, it's Sergei Fedorov down there. And some kind of like parallel or subset or insert or something. Joe Sakic, you know, the Avalanche are my favorite team. Joe Sakic, of course, there. Ray Bork, Hall of Famer. And then you get Colorado, the other Colorado, the Rockies. Yes, it was the Colorado Rockies. They were a hockey team before they were a baseball team. And then Brodeur, and then, just kind of neat, rookie dream team of Nicholas Lidstrom. All right. Now over to the dimes. I think I have this Jose Tartable, but for a dime, I'm not going to pass it up. For my Oakland A's team set. George Foster, who signs more cards than anyone I know. A little beaten up, but I don't mind beating up Reds, Big Red Machine guys. This Kevin Young is freaking awesome. I love 92 Bowman, especially what they did with the guys who hadn't played yet. I love these these great pictures. And this is sort of a homage, although really, I'm thinking the Kirby Puckett giant back card. Wasn't that a 93? So, wait, does this one predate the Kirby Puckett card? I think it does. Or was that a 92? I think the Puckett was a 93 or 94. Wow, okay. My mind's a little blown right now. Sorry, got to focus back in. All right, got some football in here. Don't know why. This Ken Houston looks beautiful. Great card of a Hall of Famer. And there's Calvin Hill. Well, there's the other Yale guy. So I picked up Calvin Hill. Gerald Riggs. Gerald Riggs is a baller, dude. And this is a rookie card, so that's really cool. I always love the Broncos unis there with John Elway. Khalil Mack, another Mack guy. I went to Buffalo. Drew Bledsoe. This is a parallel. First day. Tyler Bray. I covered Tyler Bray at the University of Tennessee. The dude could absolutely sling it. But as I said, $1 million arm, $5 head. I don't know, but boy, he could sling it and put some crazy numbers at UT, the University of Tennessee. These are really neat. These are these Bill Walton kind of cards. Star 94. I just thought they were neat. Might make some good trade bait. I don't know. Bernie Nichols was a serious... Do you call them ballers if they're hockey players? Because they don't play with the ball. A serious pucker? Man, that guy's one mother pucker. Okay. And then here's another Colorado Rockies. And then a couple of award winners. Just kind of neat. Patrick Waugh, of course, and Chris Drury. And then for my wrestling peeps, found one interesting wrestling card. This, of course, is Wendy Richter in the fabulous Moolah wrestling it out. And then you never find Dale Earnhardt much in the bargain bin dime box cards, so that's really kind of cool. I don't really have many of him, so just thought that was really cool and really neat. And then one Pete Sampras card. So there you go. All right. Dimes, dimes, more dimes. Here we go. It's going to be a longer video. I'm trying to go fast for you. You can see it's got some staining on it, but just super cool. I love anything that's a game card, like the Milton Bradley or anything. Does anybody here play APBA baseball or Stratomatic? Like, I've played APBA baseball almost all my life. I've been in APBA leagues. For those who don't know what that is, that's dice roll baseball based on statistics from the year before. Very realistic. Stratomatic, really cool too. I'm supportive of anybody who plays either one. But does anybody play any of those? Or there's a new one out also, and I don't remember the name of it. Does anyone play APBA, Stratomatic, or any other dice roll kind of baseball games? This one's beaten heck and back, but I thought it was cool. It's a 65 for a dime. All right, Fergie Jenkins, kind of beaten up at Hall of Famer. Love these cards, working on the entire set, getting there slowly but surely. How about a 72 Denny McLain for a dime? Rounded corners, but still really kind of cool. All right. Working on this set, working on this set. I might be done with one of these. I don't remember, but for a dime, I'm not going to sit there and worry about looking. I just moved on. These are really cool. There are a bunch of these, so I think I'm going to chase this set. And I love Campy. Campy's one of my most favorite all-time players that I never got to see play, obviously. But you can see this is loaded. Loaded with all these big names. So really kind of cool. All right, this is the Circle K home run hitter set from 1985, I believe it was. And I have this Tony Perez. I'm working on the set. I'm like 4 cards short. But the Perez I have kind of has a dinged up corner. I just noticed that the other day. This one's a little off cut, but yeah, whatever. For a dime, I'll deal with it. Paul Molitor, 1987 Donruss opening day card. And then just a bunch of Dave Parkers. I'm hard-pressed to pass up earlier Dave Parkers. By the way, I've said this before. I love the 1988 score set. I think the photography is fantastic. The images are really crystal clear. Like, they give you really good detail. The pixelation is fantastic. I just really love what they did. I love the design. Really kind of cool. Anyway, I think it's an underrated set. I know some people rip it, but I like it. So a bunch of Dave Parkers. This is really cool. This is the Boardwalk baseball set. This was like one of those box sets you could buy. So really kind of neat. How about an 85 Donruss, Dave Parker? 84 Fleer, Dave Parker with a big old smile. He doesn't always smile in his photos. This is really cool. The 82 Donruss. Check out the bat. It's splintered off. So really kind of neat. Dave Parker with an incredulous look at the umpire. What you talking about? Leon Durham. This one's a rookie card. And so is this one. These two are rookie cards from Leon Durham. The Bull Durham from Cincinnati. This is really neat. Bad creasing, but still really cool. 1970 Boog Powell. What about that? Do you guys pick up cards of something like that from 1970? Would you pick up a card, a 1970 card with some creases like that in it for a dime? Especially with a player like Boog Powell. I'm going to pick up the Reds, guys. Pete Rose, also a local guy. I'm working on something cool with Ricky Henderson cards that are in landscape, not portrait. I'll explain that way down the road. OPG, Rod Carew, Billy Pierce. I love these TCMA cards. I'm sorry, this is Ronaldo Galasso. Oh, and TCMA. I think they teamed up. Obviously, they're both on here. So really kind of neat. Nestle. So this, I showed you some Nestle's before. This is the actual like Nestle like Dream Team kind of thing. Not the parallel cards. So, but this is really cool for a dime. That's a great find. Some more foodstuffs here with the Drake's Big Hitter cards, 1983. These are obviously Topps made as well. So really kind of neat. I think I've finished that set except for maybe one. 87 Donruss. I think this is the opening day set checklist. So, but I had 2 New York teams. There's so many New York collectors out there. I thought, I'll take a gamble on it. Jim Palmer, 83 Topps. And then this one's super cool. I love these cards. I see them every now and then. Mickey Lolich. Just kind of neat. You got kind of the head in there. This one is scribbled all over in the back. That's why it was a dime. But just thought it was super cool. Could not pass the thing up for a dime because I just wanted to show you this card. It's something from the 60s. I can't remember what year. I should have looked it up. I didn't. Randy will probably tell us in the comments what it is. Randy, that's all you, buddy. All right. How about some football? I never get old football, but I love old football. So really kind of cool. I think these are 67s, but I'm not fully certain. So Wendell Hayes, he was a pretty good running back. Look at the logos too. The logos, look at that 49ers logo. That's really cool, man. Looks like something out of the Illuminati, doesn't it? Some kind of like French knight symbol kind of a thing. Some kind of medieval thing. Eagles logo is cool. So just got some really cool stuff here. Couple of them stuck together. Really kind of neat. And this guy, Joe Morrison, is a UC graduate. So I'm going to look him up. Maybe it's from the Cincinnati area. I don't remember. I'm not as up to date on my football, my vintage football, as I am my vintage baseball players from the area. All right. Bad crease, but super cool. Cleveland Browns football team. In this one, talking about the Browns in 65 to 1966. So that is really kind of cool. Archie Manning here in decent shape. Russ Francis. So Kent McClanahan. Two things. Number one, he's from Nebraska, so that's going to my guy BK. Also, somebody like scribbled in with a pencil on his mustache. So just think, but also I want to show you the design of the card. I think they're beautiful designs. I really like that, the time they took and put into that. Horrifically creased. Boy, that's brutal. But Gus Otto was a bad man. So I just want to show it to him. Jim Plunkett, Franco Harris, a little bit beaten up, but still really cool for a dime. Bubba Smith beaten up for a dime, and Larry Zonka beaten up for a dime. But I'm going to start working on, I mentioned this, I am now working on a Franken set of beaten up vintage cards. So that's really cool. Phil Simms with some bad creasing. Phil Simms had really kind of a weird kind of like career arc. Drafted first in the first round, 7th overall by the Giants as a shocker. He played at little Morehead State University in Eastern Kentucky. He lived in Louisville, went to high school in Louisville, then went to Morehead State. It wasn't even D1. And his numbers at Morehead State were actually quite terrible. But he really impressed people in Pro Day and really took off, and they drafted him. And he was such a hated pick at the time that the New York Giants fans booed him mercilessly when he was drafted because they hated the pick. And all he did was end up leading the Giants to 2 Super Bowls and holds a couple of Super Bowl records, including the highest completion percentage in a Super Bowl. I think it was 22 of 25 in that Super Bowl. All right. These cards were 5 for $1, so 20 cents a piece. This is super exciting. So as we get in, I'm going to show you off. I picked up a ton of cards from my Oakland A's team sets, made a huge dent in it. So these are great. A little bit of warping on, but not that bad for 20 cents a piece. And then some local guys like Jim Wynn and Leo Foster, John LeMaster, like I said, from Eastern Kentucky. Some more guys from the 68 tops. This Rick Monday was super cool. I was super excited to get this one for any price, but for 20 cents because this now finishes the 1969 A's team run for me, including the rookie card I got at a great price thanks to my guy Scott of Reggie Jackson. But this finished off my 1969 Oakland A's, so that's what I needed. Claude Osteen went to Reading High School in Cincinnati. Walter Alston is from a tiny little town just up the street from me, actually. And then Oakland A's, more guys from Cincinnati. Bob Barton from Cincinnati. Veda Pinson's just really cool. And Roy Face, I'm a huge fan of Roy Face. Odd story, I'll go into it later. It's not really worth it, but anyway. These are also a dime. I just put them over the side to fill the hole because I thought they were really cool. These booklet kind of things. There's 24 of them. Got a little story going on. And I picked up several of these just because I thought they were really cool. I don't know. Maybe I'll chase them. Maybe I won't. How about some quarters? Let's show you some quarters. This is a half price. These are all half price. So these are all, they're normally 50 cents every quarter this time. So yeah, there you go. Norm Snead, Joe Ferguson. Beautiful semifinals card. Larry Brown. Archie Manning's second year card. You can see it's got the bad crease there. Kind of see it through the plastic. But I don't care. It's just really cool. Speaking of really cool, these are super cool. I love this year. This is 1972 tops. John Brody, Merlin Olsen. Really kind of cool. Jim Otto, once again, a bad man. Jim and Gus Otto both make an appearance on here. John Brody, once again. I almost said Val Kilmer, Bill Kilmer, R.I.P. Val Kilmer, Iceman, and then a couple more of these booklets in the quarters. So these ones are actually clean and very nice. Really kind of cool. Like this one, this 72 Concepcion has some creasing and everything, but I was not going to pass up 72 Concepcion for a quarter. All right, these three just didn't fit in the pages. So I bought these cards, okay? These are reprints of the strip cards from the 1920s. They were like, half price was $3 for 63 cards, less than a dime a piece. And you know I can't resist beautiful reprint cards, man. And it's actually from two different sets. See, you've got the ones with the numbers like 7, 8, and 9 there, and 10. Those are from one set. And then like these ones up here that don't have the numbers, they're from a different set. But they're both strip set cards. Some really cool George Sisler in there. Obviously, Ty Cobb, you saw in there. Then they go in a bunch of like actresses and actors. And what's really cool is you got Lon Chaney in there. Very cool, very well-known actor. You got Bill Tilden in there. And of course, you got Johnny Weissmuller. Not only was a gold medalist in swimming, of course, was the first Tarzan, which I have talked about before. So, yeah. And actually, Johnny Weissmuller going to make an appearance in that one I talked about coming up down the road that also is going to feature people from Vienna. All right. These ones are $1 a piece. And now we get into my Oakland A's team set needs. Norm Seaburn actually was in really nice shape. So, and actually I say Oakland A's, but these are Kansas City A's. In fact, there's even some Philadelphia A's in one of these piles. So these are great. These are all ones I checked, all ones I needed. There's like 38 of these or something like that. So super excited. I mean, like I added 60-something new cards from Oakland A's, Philadelphia A's, Kansas City A's team sets. I needed that one. Of Burt Campaneris, 1968. So really an exciting day. I stepped up, spent a little bit more. Turned LaRussa for $1, and it's in decent shape. That might have been one of the steals of the show. You can see it's in really nice shape. So that one is fantastic. Super excited. And then Bob Barton, another once again a Cincinnati guy. Bill Lee is just one of my more favorite guys because he's really unique. And then Larry Heisel from Portsmouth, Ohio, and Southeast Ohio. Here we go. These ones were 50 cents a piece. No, these ones are still a quarter. No, more quarter cards. Look at that. Wait, so these ones are, yeah, so these ones are quarters. Those were quarters. These are quarters now also. So these ones are a little bit beaten up in the catalogs. I might be chasing these now. I'm just about done with the 1981 catalogs. What year are these? These are 1983. Some more catalogs. That's a Dave Parker. Some more catalogs. Another Dave Parker, different year. They look the same, but they're different years, obviously. So Carter, Fisk, couple Gossage, didn't mean to do that. Suter, Garvey. So you can see Kirk Gibson, George Foster. Some really cool stuff in there. Maybe I'll start chasing those. Isaac Curtis, Wonder Bread card. Freaking love the Wonder Bread cards from the 1970s. Archie Manning, again, a lot of Archie Manning in this, but this Archie Manning actually is in really nice shape. And for a quarter, that to me feels like a steal. Sonny Jurgensen, not in good shape. And then here we go, some cool guys. Jim Nance was a heck of a running back, very short career, but made a couple Pro Bowls. Really tough runner, led the league in rushing twice. And by the way, all-time career rushing leader for the WFL, the World Football League, in the mid-1970s. So really just some more cool cards. These ones are in nice shape. These ones here, 50 cents a piece. The Robin Yount looks cool. I'm going to come back to these two because these two are really cool. I'm going to come back to these in a moment. So didn't realize I picked up a 50 cent one and a quarter one of these. That's okay though. This Jim Bunning is in horrific shape. Not even close to worth 50 cents. If this guy wasn't a local right here, there's no way in heck I would have picked it up, but he's a local. And I'm going to put it in my beaten up Frankenset vintage, beaten up vintage Frankenset set. Same with Jerry Lucas. And once again, a local guy. Kind of beaten up for 50 cents. Really, I mean, I've seen worse. From Middletown, a really cool card. Willie Brown in the Wonder Bread set. Fran Tarkenton, the crease all the way from the top to the bottom. Kind of some impressive creasing. Give the crease credit for not giving up. But any Fran Tarkenton card, I'm probably going to pick up for a decent price. And this might be the worst card you're going to see me pull out of here in a while. minus the Willie Stargell that was ripped in half and taped back together. Actually, this one might even be uglier than that one. And look at this on the back. This is hideous. This is terrible. And I freaking love it. For 50 cents, it's going to go in my... Ooh, I almost ripped it in half there. Just pushing it down because there's creasing there. It's going to go my beaten up vintage stuff. So, these two are going to be great in the beaten up vintage Franken set. Willie Stargell. And honestly, not the worst I've ever seen. Ignore that on the back. Ignore these marks on the back. Ignore that. It's terrible, but it's 72. It's beautiful. I love it. This one here, the cheapest one normally goes for like $10. But here, look, it's missing a chunk of it. But it is Al Kaline with a World Series card. It's beautiful for 50 cents. I love it. All right, here we go. More Oakland A's team set needs. $2. So some of these were like different prices. John LeMaster there for 10 cents. Couldn't pass it up. Tommy Agee, maybe better than the one I have. A couple high numbers like mid-level high. I have those, but I want to see if these are actually mine. Of course, I cannot turn down a Buddy Bell Topps All-Star Rookie Trophy card for a quarter. And then Tim McCarver for a quarter, beating the heck and back just because. And finally, last and certainly not least, a ton of Oakland A's team set needs. These guys are either high numbers or semi-highs of 72 Topps. If you know anything, you know $3 is not a bad deal at all, especially for decent shape. Rick Monday, that's a high number for the Oakland A's. So those ones are $3 and $4. But I didn't end up paying all these because the guy gives you a quantity discount. And that's where these all came from, the same guy. So I ended up getting 30% off all of these. So 1953 Topps, 1954 Topps, starting to really get back there, 55 Topps. I'm trying to do all the years, man, I'm telling you. Then a bunch of 57s. The green dots were like $2. The red dots were $3. It's 57s. So these ones, of course, are 58s. So, and they're in pretty good shape for 58s. I mean, look at this. Look at this card. That's great. Bob Elliott. It turns out I actually already had this card. I didn't know it. I didn't have it marked down. That's on me. 61 for $1. And then these are some 68s that are in just really nice shape. And I picked up a bunch of these. So these are fantastic. Going to go, actually I picked up a few of these. These are going to go in my team card, chasing down all the sets of the A's throughout their different years. And then, of course, I couldn't pass up a beautiful Claude Osteen from Cincinnati. I mean, it's in fantastic shape. Then there's more Oakland A's. So last notes here. This one was in a half price sale, so this was $3.50, which was great. And then he was like rounded down to $3. So Catfish Hunter, I think it's his second year. Beautiful, beautiful card. Didn't have that one. And then this one, really interesting note. So this one was only $1, which was great. The other place I looked were all like $3 or $4. So be careful where you shop. Be careful where you buy. This one turned out to be a great deal. Anyway, that's all I got at my Moeller show. We did have some penny boxes. There was not a lot of penny boxes, but there were some, and I don't take them for granted. There was nickel boxes. I don't take them for granted. Anyway, what did you like? What did you enjoy? What did you pick up that you're excited about recently? Anyway, see you all later. Be good to each other.